In the endless blue of the Atlantic, a silent killer waits. Not a predator, not a storm, but a rope. For the great right whale, once lords of these waters, the line between life and death is thinner than a strand of nylon. Less than 350 remain, and every entanglement could be their last. The question is, can a simple rope decide the fate of an entire species? Previously, we uncovered the most trafficked mammal in the world, the pangolin. Hunted, smuggled, and sold for its scales, the shy creature became the center of a global crime. But hidden in tragedy was revelation. Its very DNA carried clues that stunned science. A discovery born from trafficking, exposing not just the fragility of one species, but the delicate threads that tie our health to the wild. The pangolin story was not just about loss. It was about a genetic secret the world could no longer ignore. A rope drifts unseen, anchored to the ocean floor, connecting a trap below to a buoy above. A whale weighing 70 tons passes through. It brushes against the line. In an instant, its massive flipper snags. The more it swims, the tighter the rope cuts. Around the mouth, the tail, the fins, every movement becomes a prison. Some whales drag these ropes for months. They grow weak. They starve. They sink, exhausted, into the dark. For the North Atlantic right whale, critically endangered, every such death is not just a loss, it is a catastrophe. A slow, invisible disaster unfolding beneath the waves. And yet, for fishermen, those same ropes mean survival. They are the lifelines to their traps, their families, their futures. What seems like a killer to one is a lifeline to another. It is the kind of conflict that tears at the very fabric of conservation. How do you choose when one rope holds both life and death? Picture a fisherman at dawn. The sea is his home, his boat, his inheritance. The buoy bobbing on the surface tells him where his traps lie. Without it, he is blind. For generations, this system has worked. Simple, reliable, unchanging. But the ocean has changed. The giants that share these waters are dying, and the ropes are at the heart of the tragedy. For the fisherman, the choice is brutal. Protect his livelihood or protect the whales. It is not greed, it is survival. Families depend on the catch. Coastal towns depend on the trade. But the world is watching, and the whales cannot wait. In this clash of survival, could humans and whales ever share the same lifeline? Then came a question, radical in its simplicity. What if the rope didn't have to be there at all? What if traps could wait silently on the seabed without a line slicing the water column from surface to floor? The answer? Ropeless traps. Ingenious devices designed to stay invisible until needed. Some use inflatable lift bags triggered by acoustic signals. Others carry their own coiled ropes, neatly tucked away, released only when summoned. At the surface, no ropes, no buoys, no deadly snares. Suddenly, the ocean is free. Whales swim without the shadow of entanglement. Fishermen still bring up their catch. For the first time in centuries, both lives can go on, side by side. Could this quiet innovation become the loudest turning point in ocean history? At first, many resisted. Ropeless traps were expensive, unfamiliar, slower, a risk to traditions passed down for generations. But when a few brave fishermen tested them, something shifted. The fear of failure gave way to pride. One lobster fisherman described a moment at sea, watching a whale breach, knowing for the first time that his gear had no ropes in the water. He said it felt like a burden lifted from his shoulders. Another spoke of his children. "I want them to inherit not just my boat," he said, "but an ocean where whales still exist." These are not stories of technology. They are stories of courage, of fishermen choosing not just to harvest the sea, but to protect it. What began as doubt is becoming a revolution.
The data is clear. We need to adapt our methods.
But revolutions are never easy. Ropeless traps are costly, and widespread adoption demands government support, regulation, and time. Fishermen face steep learning curves. Enforcement agencies struggle to monitor gear without surface markers. The solution exists, but scaling it is the true battle ahead. Yet history teaches us this. Every great conservation victory begins with a choice. Sea turtles saved from nets, eagles saved from pesticides, and now, perhaps, whales saved from ropes. Because the story is no longer about conflict, it is about collaboration. Fishermen are not the enemy. They are the allies. The ocean does not have to be divided between man and whale. With ingenuity, it can be shared. And in that shared space, survival is no longer a zero-sum game. It is a pact. The North Atlantic right whale still teeters on the brink. Its survival is far from certain, but where ropes once symbolized its decline, the absence of ropes may yet symbolize its rebirth. In every rope cut free, in every fisherman who dares to change, there lies a message that humanity can learn to live with giants, not against them. That the sea can hold both our nets and our noblest hopes. This is the story of a rope undone, a story of fishermen, of whales, of a future not yet lost. Beyond the wild, it is proof that when we loosen our grip, nature has a chance to breathe again. And perhaps one day, the ocean will no longer carry ropes of death, only lifelines of survival. Next, we follow a ghost, the red wolf. Once howling across the American South, now silenced to fewer than 30 in the wild. A predator erased by fear, bullets, and vanishing lands. But in the marshes of North Carolina, a fragile hope lingers. Conservationists fight not just for a species, but for the return of a voice to the wilderness. This is not just survival. It is the final stand of the most endangered canine on Earth.